Have you heard me talk about matcha yet? Or have you read me talk about matcha yet? Well, if you are around me or if you're in my studio, you know that I'm obsessed with it because I drink it a lot. Okay, let me explain why I love it so much. Matcha is the ceremonial or quintessential Japanese green tea. It is like the highest level of tea that you can get. It is a very fine stone ground powder, and it's organic usually. I only buy organic. And it's ground up, the actual tea leaf, and you consume the tea leaf. That's how finely it's ground. And I usually take about a teaspoon and I put it in a bowl that's made for matcha. And you don't have to have this bowl, but you can use a flat bowl, like a bigger pasta bowl with a whisk. But I'm so obsessed with it that I have the full thing. I actually have a couple bowls and a few whisks. Before I do anything to it, I'm gonna whisk it around a little bit and try to break up some of the clumps. You can sift it if you want, but I find that this is enough. And I read online that you can add just a little bit of tepid water to it and mix it around to make a paste, and that way all the clumps will disappear instead of adding hot water to it. So that's what I do, is I add a little bit of room temp water, and then I just, not much, because I want to have, it's just more pliable when you just add that little bit, and you can see. And what you want to do is you want to get rid of all the clumps and make sure that it's not on the sides, and it becomes the most verdant green you've ever seen. Now, it does have a vegetal taste to it, but I happen to love vegetables, so I love it. And my son is 3, and he is as obsessed as I am. He asks for it all the time. It does contain caffeine, and sometimes some tea people will tell me, oh, it's just trace amounts, but it's definitely got caffeine in it. And I've looked it up. It's got about 70 milligrams per cup, and that's substantial. I mean, that's about what probably a Coca-Cola would have in it. Certainly not what a cup of coffee would have, but it's really beneficial for you. And to me, it gives me a calm energy. I don't get jittery. And it's kind of like my method in my classes and the style of training that I do. I work the body really hard, but I work it in a way that connects the mind to the body, and it gives you a calm energy. You're calmed down when you finish, but you're energized as well. It's not depleting. And monks for years have used matcha before they meditate. So if it were to give you too much jittery energy, then that wouldn't work. So try it for that. I love to use it in place of having that donut or cookie or sugary coffee drink. Instead of denying myself and trying to have carrot sticks, I go reach for a matcha, and it's like a ritual reward, and I love it. Now, I'm gonna tell you why I drink matcha other than the taste and that it gives me some energy. It is packed with antioxidants, and I have to refer to the iPad because I can't pronounce this. It contains 137 times more EGCG, and it's a word, it's an antioxidant that's in tea that I cannot pronounce, so I'm gonna try. Just forgive me. Epigallocatechin -3 gallate. So let's just say EGCG. Green tea has this, but matcha, which is green tea, because it's in its leaf state, just pulverized, it's got 137 times more. So that means it is a superfood. It is a cancer fighter. It's anti-inflammatory. It's energizing, and it's going to do a lot more. It does a lot for could do a lot for chronic fatigue. It's just showing a lot of promise. To me, it's promising for weight loss because you can, there's a lot of studies out there talking about green tea and weight loss and burning belly fat. Those findings, let's just give them a few years to see what they say. I don't really go out and take green tea supplements, but I do trade out some of my worst choices for an amazing choice like green tea. The way I drink it is I take this paste and I pour it over ice because I'm Southern and I like my tea ice, but you can drink it hot. Now in Japan, they would have a sweet usually before they have their matcha. It's very ceremonial, and they usually are alone when they drink their tea. I'm not like that. I'm a little bit more laid back about it. They would not sweeten it. I sweeten my matcha with new natural stevia, usually with the drops, about 8 to 10 drops per cup. And then I just pour water on top because I want it iced. I'm gonna stir it around a bit. You see how green that is? Can you just imagine? And it tastes really good. People are scared to try it, but actually, it's amazing. It tastes so good. It tastes so good, it's perfect. It tastes so good that my son, my 3-year-old, asks for it every day. And even though it's got caffeine in it, I'm happy to give it to him because it's such a powerful superfood. Give it a try. You can, this came from Tijuana. If you've got one of those in town, it's a little bit expensive, but it does go far. It's about a month's supply for $35. And I'm looking for some really good online sources. And as soon as I find one, I will let you know. And also, if you have a good source for matcha, let me know. I'll see you soon with matcha.